101 Interesting Facts About Draconequii by Natural Born Debbie. Chapter 1. Facts 1 to 25. "Look, girls!" Twilight Sparkle greeted her friends brightly, a brand new book bouncing around inside her aura. "Discord just lent me a new book." On the copy of Castle Friendship's lush library, Rainbow Dash stopped reading from her Wonderbolt's guidebook to roll her eyes. "No way!" Twilight Sparkle, excited about a new book. "Wake me up when something interesting happens, please." Taking the barb in stride, Twilight crossed the room to sit in one of her plush chairs by the fireplace. "But this isn't just any book, Rainbow Dash. It's a fact book about Draconequii." Fluttershy strolled towards Twilight with a faint gasp. "Really? Discord never did mention anything about Draconequii before, or the fact he even liked her own books." "Well, what are you waiting for, Twilight?" Rarity chirped from the sofa. "Open it up and give it a read. I must say I am more than a bit curious to learn what makes creatures like Discord tick." Twilight gave a nod, her nod. "All right, let's see what this thing says." She then opened the book to read out loud. 101 Interesting Facts About the Draconequii by Yotal Ton Sitters. Although most Draconequii appear to have several holes on their bodies, mouth, ears, nostrils, etc., there's only one secret hole that actually functions the way it's supposed to. The scientist known as Noble Thought was the first to make such an awe discovery when he accidentally went to shake a Draconicus's hand, only to trip at the last moment and leave his hoof extended as he fell. Until his dying day, Noble Thought never did use that hoof again. 2. Draconequii have a deep love for ice cream, namely other ponies' ice cream, but only once they've purchased it, and have yet to take a single bite of the cold delicacy. Draconequii also have been known to purchase Neapolitan ice cream for those close to them, and completely devour the chocolate section, thus leaving only vanilla and strawberry for the recipient to grieve over. 3. The creature known as the Draconequii was first created when a random pony dropped a single coin in the middle of a busy marketplace, thus causing various animals to charge for the bit and smash into each other hard enough to split reality as we know it and combine into one new and fantastic being. This theory, of course, is entirely speculation, as all first hoof witnesses were instantly blinded by the initial collision. 4. Although it may go against their wild and crazy nature, Draconequii do in fact like sitting down and writing lists, so long as said list has a valid reason and purpose to its creation. 5. Most Draconequii's favorite color is standard sky blue, followed closely by chartreuse with a dash of amethyst and mauve, or black. Black goes with most everything. 6. There's only one known recording of a Draconicus successfully killing themselves. It involved a Draconicus somehow burping, sneezing, and farting all at the same time. It is still unknown whether this self-destruction was intentional or purely by accident. 7. Doctors have said that Draconequii have only a single ticklish spot on their entire bodies, their eyeballs. Rarely are Draconequii tickled. 8. Doctors have also said that the organs of a Draconequii are much different than that of normal creatures. For instance, inside their bodies they have a total of 2 livers, 4 stomachs, 1 strictly for dessert and sweets, 1.5 kidneys, and a motionless heart the size of a marble that can, on occasion, grow 3 times its normal size, usually around the holiday season. 9. Most types of peanuts are allergic to Draconequii. 10. One poor Draconequus forgot to screw his head on one morning and was never able to find it again. So beware when a Draconequii offers you head. 11. The yellow in most Draconequii's eyes is caused by them staring directly at the sun. The red pupils are due to the sun staring back at the Draconequii in return. 12. The Draconequus's favorite beverage is ice water. It's so normal and plain tasting, it shocks the Draconequus's digestive system until they start to hallucinate and speak in nothing but rhymes. 13. A Draconequus's favorite number is 13 for obvious reasons, because it's higher than 12, and 12 is a silly and smelly number. 14. All Draconequii have one lone mother to call their own. They all hate her the exact same amount and collectively forget her birthday each and every year. 15. A pony once challenged a Draconequus to a staring contest. Sadly, even after the pony was defeated in intense eye-staring combat, the Draconequus continued to stare at the pony until they passed away over 56 laters. The poor pony's offspring are currently being stared at to this day. 16. There was once a time when the Draconequii were free to roam the earth. Last Tuesday, around lunchtime. 17. Draconequii are notoriously good hitchhikers, mostly due to having thumbs. 18. Draconequii refuse to take no for an answer, but they will accept "nah, bro," as long as it's said as snidely as possible. 19. It is said that Draconequii are to no good when dark clouds appear in the sky inexplicably during the middle of the day. 20. Most Draconequii love listening to rare and unique music not regularly found in Equestria. One such album that was never made and never recorded was The Sounds of Silence. You've probably never heard of it. 22. Draconequii hate it when lists skips numbers for no reason. 21. That's better. 23. 140 years ago, a Draconequus famously convinced a naive cult that they were their imaginary friend and would grant them up to 3 wishes of their choosing. One schoolhouse fire later, and that same cult was sentenced to 40 years hard labor deep inside the darkest bowels of Tartarus. That particular Draconequus was never heard from again, probably because they were imaginary. 24. All remaining Draconequii in the world are linked by one common goal. Thousands of years ago, one of them lost their favorite pencil and would like it back. Have you seen this pen, perhaps? It has teeth marks on the side. 25. A census taker once tried to test a Draconequus. It made for one rather pleasant and fascinating afternoon for all parties involved. Tea was served. Chapter 2, Facts 26 to 50. Twilight looked up from the book for the first time since she began reading it aloud. She scratched at the side of her head before facing the rest of her friends, who all had the same bewildered expression as she had. "That," Rainbow Dash began earnestly, "that was pretty dumb, Twilight. None of these so-called Draconequii facts seemed all that helpful, or even interesting, really." "I would have to agree with Rainbow Dash on this one," Rarity added, holding a timid hoof in the air. Perhaps it's just another joke of Discord's. He does like his jokes. Twilight gave her friend a nod. Truthfully, this entire thing, I was just waiting for some big joke to reveal itself. But so far, this book reads like any other one, unless we're just not getting whatever jokes trying to make here. Girls? Applejack asked by the castle's wide windows. What was that Draconequii effect that involved black clouds in the sky? Because we got some of them. The other 5 males in the room rushed over to the window to stand beside Applejack. In the sky outside were over a dozen pitch black clouds, each one looking much nastier than the last. They silently drifted across the sky ominously, blacking out large sections of land with shadow. Reddy chuckled uneasily. Coincidence? Perhaps? Twilight shook her head. I doubt it. If Discord's book is even a tiny bit true, then that means he's up to no good again. So we should go stop him then? Applejack asked. After a moment of thought, Twilight replied, if this was the first warning sign in the book, then maybe there'd be more we could learn about. It couldn't hurt to continue on a little further, could it? So they did. 26. Fool a Draconequis once? Shame on you. Fool a Draconequis twice? Shame on them. Fool them a 3rd time? Well, that is technically how the first Equestria came to an end. 27. The Draconequis once took a man to court over defamation of character charges. The man in question had accused the Draconequis of letting something silent but deadly out in a small enclosed space. The mayor later went completely bankrupt from lawyer fees. The Draconequis totally did it too. 28. A Pegasus once split a 5-minute cab ride with the Draconequis in order to save on bits. Dippy Hooves hasn't been the same since. 29. To share deep and dark secrets with Draconequii is a good way of getting them killed. Only once a juicy secret has been inserted inside a Draconequis, it forms a tiny black hole that will expand until the Draconequis is devoured by it whole. The only known cure to this predicament is by yelling the shared secret as loudly and flamboyantly as possible in the middle of town. Draconequii don't enjoy spilling ponies' secrets. It's simply a matter of life and death. 30. A team of Draconequii once opened up an amusement park called Disco Land that operated for only a single day. Major complaints included unfinished roller coaster tracks, cotton candy made of eyebrows, complete lack of whimsy, and a fun house ride that took an entire 2.5 years to walk through. 5 children were conceived inside said fun house by the time their parents escaped. They have since become known as the Funhouse 5. The Funhouse 5 have promised never to have fun again. 31. A bank check from a notorious Draconequis once bounced so hard it landed directly on the moon. That same check now resides safely behind a display case inside of Princess Luna's personal study. 32. Most Draconequii aren't trustfully as thin as they appear. They just suck in the guts a bit. This fad began immediately after Tumbleweed the Terrible made light of a Draconequis' protruding love handles. And as most Draconequii would go on to agree, love should actually exist anywhere on a Draconequii, even if it is just a little bit of extra baby fat. 33. Draconequii have abnormally small packages. 34. Delivered to them every Wednesday and Thursday. 35. Draconequii are very resourceful creatures. If they cannot find anything to sit within the room, they will simply snap a pony to act as their seat instead. Most ponies are less than amused by this. 36. If a Draconequii finishes a story with the phrase, "true story," there's usually a 91% chance that was false. True story. In mid-read, Twilight looked up from a book for a moment to sneeze. Then she wiped at her nose with a tissue. 37. Bless you. 38. Never pull on a Draconequii' finger, especially when it is offered to you. More often than not, the Draconequii will replace said finger with another personal appendage most ponies would rather never make contact with. 39. You can always tell when a Draconequii is lying when they use complete and full sentences, i.e. every time they speak. 40. The greatest prank a Draconequii ever pulled was convincing that Equestria that they didn't exist at all. 5 minutes later, they then revealed themselves all over again because no one was paying any attention to them. 41. The Draconequii once ate itself whole to get out of a boring dinner party. The following morning, their toilet had absolutely no idea what was going on. 42. Draconequii love stealing and hoarding ponies' fridges. To this day, no one knows why. 43. Draconequii have a lengthy list of best pony plots in all of Equestria. Spots 1 and 2 currently belong to Princess Celestius. It's just that big. 44. A Draconequii once spotted a crying child on the street. When asked what the matter was, the child replied, "My house was destroyed by a storm last night, and now I have nowhere to live." Wishing to help the poor child, the Draconequii did what any good creature would do. He destroyed the house next to the child's and watched as another small child exited from the rat bowl. The Draconequii then happily explained, "Look, now you have someone with the same hobbies as you." 45. Draconequii rarely play instruments. Rather, they play ponies, usually like fiddles. 46. You can tell when the Draconequii are really up to no good when castles start to randomly groan and creak. 47. It was Draconequii that let the dogs out. He's very sorry for that. 48. A waiter at a restaurant once served a Draconequii that complained about having soup in the fly. The waiter went cross-eyed on the spot. 49. Draconequii have only one known weakness: death. 50. To think, it was only 69 years ago that Draconequii became so fed up with Equestria altogether that they moved to the human world to live there permanently. They are currently seeking a career in politics. Chapter 3. Facts 51 to 75. Again, Twilight Sparkle glanced up from the book, staring at each one of her friends in turn. Anything else? Any fact you think might tell us what Discord is actually up to? Well, Rarity started snidely, there was that one fact about Celestia's plot in there. Applejack shot Rarity a glance. We're looking for helpful facts, Rarity. That book did mention something about castles creaking and moaning when Draconequii were up to no good. Anyone hear anything so far? All 6 mayors stopped talking for a moment to listen attentively. During that time, Twilight watched a sea of pitch-black clouds outside expand even larger than before. Fluttershy spoke timidly. Maybe the castle won't. That was when the castle let out an ear-splitting groan, almost as if its very foundation were quickly coming undone. Fluttershy shrieked and buried her head in Rainbow Dash's lap. No one panic! Twilight shouted to the shaken mares. It's only noise. So far, that's all we've seen of Discord's so-called plan. Just clouds and noise. She sighed. But that also means we need to keep reading more random facts about Draconequii in order to fully understand what's going on around here. Rainbow Dash blanched. Seriously? Twilight flipped the book open again. 51. If a tree falls in the woods, can a Draconequii hear it? Probably. They were the ones that knocked it over to begin with. 52. Most Draconequii smell like a combination of stale candy, armpit sweat, and bad decisions. They work very hard to smell like this daily. 53. Although Draconequii pronounce chaos the same way as everyone else, they're actually saying it like chaos. It makes less sense that way. 54. Every Draconequii comes into this world equipped with a built-in teddy bear that will read to them at night. What? Not every Draconequii, in fact, needs to be weird or mean-spirited. 55. At only one point over the course of history did Princess Celestia and Discord share a relationship. As Celestia would later put it, it was without a doubt the worst millisecond of my life. 56. Never feed a Draconequii after midnight. They only end up getting food crumbs all over the bedspread. 57. Draconequii are contractually obligated to forever double dip their chips. 58. If a Draconequii cannot think of anything witty to reply to a question with, they will usually kick the shin of the closest pony near to them before running away crying. 59. The creator of the underwear was actually Draconequii. They have since starved to death from extreme lack of sales. 60. A Draconequii once ate a child's bicycle just to prove a point. What was the point exactly? They hated children quite a bit, in fact. 61. Do Draconequii bleed? I hear you ask. Well, of course they do. They bleed pure helium. Makes for hilarious battle scenes. 62. You can tell Draconequii really likes you when they use the soft kind of rope to bind you with. 63. Draconequii rarely have offspring for one very large reason. Ponies end up paying more attention to the children than to them. Upon birth, most Draconequii children are certainly transformed into regular ponies and dropped off in the middle of the woods to live out the rest of their lives. It's not all bad, though. They're always given a snack lunch before they go, a cheese string and 2 pudding cups, sometimes a carton of chocolate milk. 64. You can tell when Draconequii are up to the worst possible thing when it starts raining cats and dogs outside. 65. It's technically impossible to get Draconequii drunk. In fact, the more alcohol they consume, the more sober they become, as one Draconequii put sun clarity after night out at the bar. Ew. 66. A Draconequii once started a 10-year war simply by calling someone fat. Can you guess who they called fat? Yes, themselves. It then became a 10-year war between the scale and the mirror. 67. Draconequii actually know the cure to every illness ever created. They just aren't telling. 68. Rare. If you give a stray Draconequii a piece of food, there's a good chance they'll follow you back home. And once they discover your home, they'll stuff it into a potato sack to later sell on the black and white zebra market. 69. He. 70. A Draconequii once infiltrated a changeling hive in search of honey. When no such honey was found, they wondered why they even bothered at all. 71. Once upon a time, a Draconequii laughed so hard he accidentally invented comic songs. He is still being savagely hunted to this day. 72. Life once gave a Draconequii a lemon. In return, the Draconequii gave the lemon their very own Draconequii to have. That's why lemons are as bitter and sour as they are. 73. During the 76th official Equestria Games, the Draconequii completed and won a total of one perfect award, perfect attendance. Worried about losing their award, that Draconequii has since never left that same stadium. They are very, very sick of stadium food by this point. 74. A pony once told the Draconequii to follow their nose. Oddly enough, it led right to their face. 75. After King Sombra's rather violent defeat, Princess Celestia and Discord got into a small bidding war over what remained of the tyrannical king's curved red horn. Following 14 hours of heated bidding, Discord won the horn by a mere fraction of a bit. He literally nibbled a quarter of a coin off with his teeth in order to win. King Sombra's horn remains stuck to Discord's wall to this day, where he hangs up his hat and coat after long days of doing absolutely nothing. Chapter 4. Facts 76 to 100. Using a hoof, Twilight Sparkle webbed at a temple inside. Cats and dogs? She asked tiredly. All 5 of the other mares nodded at once, as outside hundreds of small kittens and puppies began descending from the sky, meowing and nipping as they fell. Rarity grimaced. So, this means Discord's up to the worst possible thing? I'd hate to see what that means exactly. Okay, gang, Applejack declared, we need to get to the bottom of this right quick. This fact book of Discords mentions a whole lot of facts about hating kids that think Discord might do something to the schoolhouse today. I'd hate for Apple Bloom to get involved in all this craziness, Rarity grumbled lowly. Or Sweetie Belle, Applejack added quickly, or Scootaloo, or any kid for that matter. Twilight's large castle stopped creaking for a moment, so all 6 of them could hear a large bang come from somewhere inside the castle. All eyes found Twilight's again. That came from the kitchen, I think, she told them in a hushed tone. Now, I'm getting the feeling everything outside is nothing more than a distraction caused by Discord to trick us. Come on, girls, let's finish this once and for all. In a steady march, the 6 mares made their way up the dark hall towards the castle's kitchen. After a moment's hesitation, Twilight grabbed the book with her own. Couldn't hurt to finish the list, though, could it? 76. Discord doesn't actually wear hats and coats. He just created them to have something hang Sombra's horn. It's much funnier that way. He had a feeling you were wondering about that. 77. Sleepovers with Draconequii can be rather tricky business. Some of the worst pranks include hoof in warm water, shaving cream to the face, and random gender swapping spells. There are very few that can still remember just how beautiful Princess Blueblood used to be. 78. Look behind you. Looking up from the book again, Twilight and her friends turned around in the dimly lit hall to find absolutely nothing in sight. Sighing loudly, Twilight muttered, Now this is just getting ridiculous. Yes, more ridiculous than before. 79. A book just dictated a part of your life. They seem to be very good at that, don't they? 80. The Draconequii once napped for so long they completely missed out on the Equestrian Renaissance. Upon learning of this, they were mostly okay with it. 81. Draconequii will normally refuse to eat Sundays on Sundays or hay fries on Fridays. Same goes for sitting on Saturdays. 82. Discord the Draconequii visits Lord Tyrek every week in Tartarus like clockwork. He always brings with him fresh cups of spit for Tyrek to enjoy. When Tyrek isn't looking, though, Discord will sometimes sneak in mouthfuls of warm tea into his cups. 83. There's a little-known Draconequii mating ritual that few ponies even know exists at all. until it is far too late. It's called making eye contact. And once the ritual is complete, the Draconequis must wed the pony they made eye contact with without hesitation. Tears are a common sight at most Draconequis weddings. 84. Draconequii fall asleep to the sounds of their own laughter. They also wake up to the sounds of their own laughter. It means they don't actually get all that much sleep. 85. Endings are always the best part of long Draconequii fact list. 86. Clown ponies scare all Draconequii. They scare everyone, actually. This fact is printed in a book, so it must be true. 87. There's a rumor that Draconequii are trying to bring yoga pants back. So far, no one has asked them to do this, and so far, no one is really looking forward to when they accomplish the goal. 88. A brave warrior once tried to kill Draconequis by pouring boiling hot lithium down their throat. The Draconequis went on to survive the ordeal and has since been explained in overall better mood. Has since been experiencing an overall better mood than before. 89. It is said that the Equestrian Dark Ages began when Draconequis stubbed his hoof on the edge of a coffee table. Draconequii and coffee tables have been natural enemies ever since. 90. Draconequii have indeed heard of snozberries and eat them every day on top of their pancakes. Snozberries are grown naturally inside the dreams of all dreamers. 91. Draconequis was once tasked by planet-invading creatures to name a single thing to save Equestria with. They then explained the dish known as hay fries covered with cheese curds and gravy, and Equestria has been safe ever since. 92. No Draconequii in the history of time has ever cared about how your day went, but they would just love to tell you how their day went, usually in excruciating detail. 93. A Draconequis once spat a well-chewed piece of pink gum into a man's mouth. 11 months later, the man known as Pinkie Pie shot out. Well, that's what we're going with, because we honestly have no other clue how she operates the way she does. 94. Less than a day after Princess Luna's return, a petition was started to get her returned back to the moon for fear that the princess would steal all the jobs. To this day, only 2 signatures have been signed. 1. Discord. 2. Princess Celestia. Fact 95. You ever get the feeling someone's watching you, so you turn around, but no one's there, so you say to yourself, looks like I'm jumping at shadows again. Time to start dinner, I guess. Hope those leftovers are still good. Congratulations! You've just met your very first Draconequis. 96. Once every 1,000 years, a Draconequis must shed its skin to form a new one around itself. This makes the leftover Draconequii coat a rather sought out and expensive gift. If caught wearing one of these garments, though, members of Pet D Berg, ponies for the ethical treatment of Draconequii, bears, and extra regular gentle stallions, have been known to vocally exclaim their disdain to such individuals. An effective countermeasure is to point out just how terrible the group's acronym is. 97. According to nearly all Draconequii, Equestria does not actually revolve around the sun. It instead revolves solely around them. The runner-up answer is, of course, Celestia's plot. It's just that big. 98. Draconequii always bring along extra protection when going out on dates to guarantee no unwanted pregnancies. They always make sure to keep their extra sets of socks and sandals close to pawn inside their travel bags. 99. Draconequii have the hardest time convincing ponies that meat actually tastes good. In order to solve this problem, some Draconequii have been known to shove bits of fried bacon inside pony hay burgers without their knowledge. It's amazing how many ponies later ask for seconds and drool uncontrollably. 100. there's now only one interesting Draconequii fact remaining in this book. Chapter 5, Fact 101. Outside her kitchen area, Twilight stopped and gasped. "What is it, darling?" Rarity asked behind her. "Another paper cut?" Twilight shook her head. "No, the last Draconequii fact. Fact 101 isn't here. It's like the page was ripped out of something. Discord must have torn it out before giving the book to me. It must be rather important." Something else banged and scratched inside of Twilight's kitchen ahead of them. "But I don't think that matters anymore," Twilight added. "Spike's still upstairs, so that means it just has to be Discord in there. Prepare yourself, Scales. I have a feeling this might just become the largest battle we've ever faced before." In the dark hallway, Rarity charged her horn while Applejack got a lasso ready. Rainbow dashed short in the air while Fluttershy tried to form herself into the tiniest ball she could become. Pinkie Pie, meanwhile, bounced on the spot like she usually did. On the count of 3, all 6 mares, Fluttershy being dragged along by Pinkie Pie, raced inside the kitchen and halted at once. Instantly, Twilight pointed a sharp proof up at Discord. "Stop what you're doing right this instant!" Counting on ways, Discord sat down the fridge, held tight in his arms, and cocked a bow at her. "Stopped me from doing what exactly?" "Something," Twilight began sluggishly. "Something to do with something downright terrible," Applejack finished for her, before pursing her lips anxiously. She scratched at the back of her head. "You, mind skipping the guessing game and telling us what you're up to in here? That might save us a little time." Discord exhaled in disbelief as his shoulders slumped. "Seriously? I just gave you a book loaded with Draconequii facts, and you still don't realize my master plan?" All 6 men shook their heads. Discord leaned on Twilight's fridge and chuckled. "Why, I'm still in your fridge, of course. Draconequii fact 42. Draconequii love stealing and hoarding ponies' fridges." "Did you even read that far?" He raised a claw and guffawed loudly. "It doesn't matter anyways. Once I steal Twilight's fridge, that means I'll have a total of 4 fridges. And once I steal another 6 fridges, that means I'll have a total of 10 whole fridges to call my own." Fluttershy stared at that. "And what happens once you get 10 whole fridges?" Discord stopped in mid-laugh to point out that "I have absolutely no idea. Profit, maybe? I don't know. But I'm sure it can't be good. Anyhow, it's been a long day, so I'll just be taking this fridge here and getting on my way. Smell you later, princess." With that said, Discord grabbed a hold of Twilight's fridge again, rocketed through the ceiling and into the pitch-black sky. A moment later, a thin bit of parchment fell through the hole in the roof, signed around the edges. Twilight grabbed it with her arm and read it to herself, hanging her head down. "What does it say, Twilight?" "It's the final Draconequii fact. Fact 101, Twilight replied dryly. "And?" "Fact 101. Draconequii love making up fake Draconequii facts, usually for stupid, gullible ponies." Rainbow Dash snored. "Sounds about right. But why do you look so glum? Weren't you expecting that the entire time?" Twilight gave a nod, but didn't raise her head. "Yeah, but it also says he clogged my toilet before he left and took my plunger with him." True story.